Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian, and Haitians. Gotta give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, the Most High, the Heavenly Father. His name is Yahweh, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Ahia. It's Yahweh. His only begotten Son name is Yahweh Shai. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christus, not Yeshaya. It's Yahweh Shai. So gotta give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well. And a sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing the truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Akwaf who are listening and learning. The few sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah from GMS Orlando Camp, coming at you another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification. Another daily edification. Lord's willing. This be edifying. This is Revelation 13 and verse 16. And it reads, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man may buy or sell, save he that hath the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Lord's willing, this be edifying."
An economic collapse of biblical proportion resulting in cashless society. Cash to soon be illegal with the excuse that it carries viruses. This is the next stage in the globalist plan. Digital currency. They can control it, track it, and most importantly, take it away from you in the blink of an eye. This pandemic is working like a charm for the globalists. The global elites are building their one world currency system and one world government right in front of your face and openly admitting to it. You're screwed either way. Have the money in the bank, risk a banking holiday, or them freezing your funds. Have cash on hand. They'll tell you it's a spreader of the virus. Pure genius in trying to ban cash. Using the virus as an excuse. Can't store cash under the mattress in case of bail-ins. This is the new America unfolding. Order out of chaos. The quickest way to bring about chaos is bombarding the population with decisions, scenarios, catastrophic events, rights violations, monetary instability, and quite possibly food supply. This virus is a curtain to cover up all the government is doing, but we are peeking and seeing it all. Digital currency is how they will change us off the petrodollar. Say hello to one world currency and new world order. It's all about skimming. All taxes will be collected on every digital transaction. They will even eliminate the IRS, and the people will cheer only to pay even more with digital tax collection. Right now, less than 5% of US dollars in circulation is in the form of bills. The rest is electronic. The swamp wants a cryptocurrency like the Bitcoin, so they would be able to track transactions regardless of each bank's privacy policy. The swamp wants it to control the elite to prevent any chance of a revolution. Please remember that all electronic currency riding the blockchain requires internet to use for a platform of exchange from one party to another, whether government, corporation, or person. Each person will be required to offer up their biometrics to access the internet to buy and sell on the blockchain in the very near future. Thus fulfilling Revelation chapter 13. The hideous beast is rising out of the sea. This is what the last days is supposed to look like. We're there.
That beast is talking about EU and NATO, okay, and North America. The beast is EU, the European Union, and NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. And North America is the whore that sits on the scarlet color beast. And scarlet color, why? Because it's red.
This is getting to the point where we will all have a chip implanted and we can scan our wrist to pay. If only everyone would go into the banks and clean out their accounts like they do supermarkets and watch how quickly the banks will close because they haven't got any money. And see how much of a scam the global economy really is that is purely based on debt. With this current situation, the governments are dishing out trillions of dollars, yet one has to question where exactly are the banks getting all this money from? What I want to know is when markets crash with billions of dollars, where does all this money go? It can't just disappear. It has to go somewhere. Otherwise, that money and values never existed to begin with. We are at a dark and historic turning point. And things are going to get worse. I got wind of a person with inside info of the government mandating a nationwide shutdown along with a closure of the stock market next week, this whole Justice Department. The Department of Justice has no interest in justice. Its interest is in control, total, boot on your throat control. How are we ever going to have a one-world government without a global crisis that necessitates centralized authoritarian controls? Problem, reaction, solution. Like they have always said, never let a crisis go to waste. This will change everything. It will never be the same. Welcome to the New World Order. They are bringing in the mark of the beast. Without the mark, you can't buy or sell. That's the plan, but they underestimate their enemy. The globalists are attempting to sell us on slavery by packaging it as free markets. The solution is to not use the systems they promote and be ready to fight tooth and nail for real decentralization. Force the slowdown, or you will become an even bigger slave than you already are. When the endgame of the usurious fiat scam system we now live under plays itself out, we must not allow them to chain us all into any world crypto cashless baseless monetary system. We must fight tooth and nail against the implementation of this evil idea. Welcome back to the Atlantis Report. Please take some time to subscribe to my backup channels. I do upload videos there too. You'll find the links in the description box. You will also find a PayPal link if you want to make a donation. Thank you. Everything is speeding up, and it's amazing to see that people don't even see this, how the storm is here and it's going to get really bad. People do desperate things during desperate times. Got news for you, the world is on edge and we are just at the beginning. If you haven't prepared yourself, do so now with what little is left. Only the people who believe everything is still fine will be the ones who suffer in the end. It never mattered who you voted for, red team or blue team. There is only one team. So long as the central banks are in control. Welcome to the machine. We are now beyond the Orwellian world and into the twilight zone. Socialist and nanny state governments desperately need electronic-only currencies. All they do is drive commerce underground and create black markets, thus the need to eliminate cash in order to make sure they get their tax money to spend on running their massive government business. Understand you can never have a private transaction with anything outside hard money. Cash and hard money equal privacy and safety. Digital equals all transactions recorded, and your stored capital always easy to confiscate if you are found to be socially bad. The elites feel a need to be the third party in every transaction. Most young people have no grasp of these concepts. I try to explain it whenever I have the chance. All they see in digital banking is convenience. The elites are at war with us. Facebook takes your privacy. Governments take your rights. Banks take your money. Corporations take your jobs. I'm just another worn-out tonsil telling people this. Our politicians are just proxies for their donors' desires. Guaranteed if the money changers think a cashless society is a good idea. It is just another tool to further enrich the elites and impoverish the remaining 99% of the population. Cashless means digital. Ones and zeros.
And they said that we are just cattle, man. And they want everybody chipped like cattle.
Nothing you will ever hold in your hand or give to another without the electronic means to do so. You will be totally dependent on the crypto blockchain to determine your balance, and with no dollar to gauge it against, you will have to gauge it against the goods or other things you use it for. And it is gone. Watch the movie Elysium if you want a glimpse of your dystopian future. Spoiler, you ain't included with the elite living on the orbiting space utopia. The elite are insatiably greedy psychopaths that have already stolen most of the global assets for themselves. It doesn't seem coincidental that cryptocurrency surfaces just as faith in fiat dries up. By analogy, I'm reminded of a matador sent out to distract a bull in an arena to keep it from escaping while compatriots frantically shut gates left open. Satoshi Nakamoto seems to be a complex and strategically ambiguous enigma, hardly some dude. The fact that nobody really knows where the hell this stuff came from is telling. And the sheer variety popping up practically overnight might be recognized as deliberate seeding, garden style, to see what thrives and what doesn't, and why. I have yet to find an apologist who can explain cryptocurrency satisfactorily in any way that eliminates its potential for weaponization. The dollar collapse will be replaced by a government bit, which will, of course, be worth dimes on the dollar, thereby accelerating the gap between the middle class and ultra-wealthy. How we conduct our transactions is a sideshow to what we have left of our current currency balances. The future will be mostly cashless. It's now a race to the next new reserve digital currency. My bet is on China being the forefront of it all. With 1.3 billion ready users, it will inevitably overshadow the rest. Whatever currency the government approves should be avoided like the plague. Blockchain is basically a ledger, and one day a ledger will list everything you have on behalf of the banks and the state. Non-citizenship will occur with the press of the button. Australia is the canary in the coal mine. They will make cash transactions over a certain amount illegal, then lower that amount time after time until there is no cash. Your ledger will, of course, be subject to negative interest rates and will probably, like everything else, be ultimately the Federal Reserve's property. You have to analyze these things from a signals and systems perspective. When you send an impulse through a system, you understand the behavior of the system with respect to an immediate or impulsive change, a shock. India proved to be the first data point in modeling what a nation with 1 billion plus people behaves like. As the USA is soon approaching that number, it was important for the powers to test it on a gullible enough population where cash is still king. That was the real reason behind the demonetization effort of India at the end of 2016. The impulse to the economic system, a temporary elimination of cash while the government rolled out new denominations and replacement banknotes, announced over national television over the course of an hour, resulting in quite the response of at least 2 months of economic what the wickedness. A part of that impulse response was that necessity is the mother of all invention aspect of trying to transact without cash. Fortunately for the powers and the masses, surprise, surprise, the cashless transfer system and app called Paytm happened to exist and somehow magically be ready to scale its usage from the ones of millions to the 100s of millions level. How convenient and commendable of their foresight, huh? The economic, social, and cultural behavioral response of a cashless system impulse, though not advertised as such, has been extensively modeled and studied by researchers paid by the powers, I am sure. The cash ban converts humans into livestock. If you're useful or make your owner happy, you'll get fed. Otherwise, we must never accept a cash ban under any circumstances. New viruses arrive every day. More than 500,000 die yearly from the flu. COVID-19 is a smokescreen behind which they take away our freedom and independence. Email your congressman, talk to friends, encourage them to do the same, stand up and speak your mind. There are good people in government and even banks, but living in an echo chamber is not conducive to good decisions. Let them hear. If they are allowed to suspend the Constitution, you will never get it back. I don't think you have it now. Just like the globalists censor and ban everyone whose opinions differ from their online currently. They will do the same in a cashless society. They will freeze your assets, steal your credits, and ban you from doing business if you dare to think for yourself and have your own opinions. A cashless society during a power internet outage, fire, hack, EMP, would be as bad as if nuclear bombs hit a few American cities. Going cashless adds risk. To counter the risk, additional measures must be taken. These additional measures are the real goal of eliminating cash. Unless you have gold and silver, bullets, booze, and cigarettes will become tender also in that scenario. Even toilet paper will be money. It is well enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. Said Henry Ford. The social credit score will soon follow. Orwell is saying from his grave, I warned you. I want chips with dip. Not in my hand. I can't wait for the government to limit what I can do with my money. Gun control for starters. Food control. Everything control. rationing, carbon footprint control, social score control, on and on. A revolt will ensure, or will the sheeple accept their fate? Are you worried yet? I am. This was the Atlantis Report. Please like.
And there you see it, man. Will the sheep do what? Accept their fate. Let's go back to that. Let's see if I can
I am. This was the Atlantis Report.
Hold on, gotta go back real quick. I gotta play this.
Let them hear. If they are allowed to suspend the Constitution, you will never get it back. I don't think you have it now. Just like the globalists censor and ban everyone whose opinions differ from their online currently. They will do the same in a cashless society. They will freeze your assets, steal your credits, and ban you from doing business if you dare to think for yourself and have your own opinions. A cashless society during a power internet outage, fire, hack, EMP, would be as bad as if nuclear bombs hit a few American cities. Going cashless adds risk. To counter the risk, additional measures must be taken. These additional measures are the real goal of eliminating cash. Unless you have gold and silver, bullets, booze, and cigarettes will become tender also in that scenario. Even toilet paper will be money. It is well enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. Said Henry Ford. The social credit score will soon follow. Orwell is saying from his grave, I warned you. I want chips with dip. Not in my hand. I can't wait for the government to limit what I can do with my money. Gun control for starters. Food control. Everything control. Rationing, carbon footprint control. Social score control. On and on. A revolt will ensure, or will the sheeple
That's what I want right there. A revolt will ensure, or will the sheeple accept their fate? No, it's going to be a revolt, man. This is Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of power, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of power and the faith of Yahushua. Let's get this one. Revelation 16:2. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, which is the angel. Now the fact, Revelation 16:1, and I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of power upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which had worshipped his image. You see? Let's get this one. Now we know that the beast is who? EU and NATO, man. So when you go to, and the woman that sits on the scarlet colored beast is North America, Babylon the Great. It's Revelation 17:18. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city in North America, Babylon the Great, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Okay? The 7-head and 10-horn beast, 7 heads, right? NATO, 10 horns is EU, and the woman that sits on the beast is North America, man. This is Isaiah chapter 36 and verse 6. And it reads, Lo, thou trusted in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him. So you trust in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. And I always bring these two precepts out because these are representations of the mark of the beast, man. 1 Timothy 6 and 10 reads, For the love of money is the root to all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. And one of those piercings is you taking the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, man. This is Leviticus 19 and 28 reads, Ye shall not make any cuts in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord Yahweh. And this word mark right here, as a matter of fact, let's get it. It's Kwa. Let's pull it up real quick, Lord willing. This is Leviticus 19 and 28 in the blue letter. And this word for marks, is H7085.
Strong's H7085. Ka.
He said ka, boy, the Kwa. Incision, imprintment. Okay? An incision or gash, mark. And we know when you go to Revelation 13, it tell you what that is, man. As a matter of fact, let's get that. Revelation 13 and 16. This is Revelation 13 and 16. And that word mark is G5480.
Strong's G5480. Charagma.
It's in Haragma, but it's Karagma, which is a stamped and imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. Which you know the Antichrist are many, they're not one. Okay, it's a mark branded upon horses, and they got a thing that's saying mark graven, that they call it as a badge of servitude, right? And they want everybody chipped like cattle, man. Now when you go to verse 18 and you go to the number, right? The number 3 score. So when you go to 300 3 scoring 600 3 scoring 6 is G5516.
Strong's G5516. Chi, Xi, Stigma. Chi, Xi, Stigma.
Okay, so when you go to that, you have to go to G4742.
Strong's G4742. Stigma.
And it reads, a mark pricked in or branded upon the body To ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander, branded or pricked, cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belonged to. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods. Mark. A mark incised or punched for recognition of ownership. Scar of service. Okay, when you can go back to the scripture that tell you that the men bore an awl through their ears, man, for their masters. Okay, you go look it up and read it, man. Hey, so Lord willing, this is edifying. Got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rikah Qurash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, and a sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Akwaf who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. Lord willing is edifying. Until next time, I say shalom. And this is the mark of the beast is being made mandatory.